Hello, good people of YouTube, Mountbatten here, and today I have this replay for you from Rex 105, and yes, as you can tell by the title of the video, this is the current world damage record game for Pommern. Now, Pommern is a Tier 9 premium German battleship. What it basically is an FDG hull, but instead of having her 8 16-inch 406 or 420 millimeter guns, she has 12 15-inch guns. Now, there's several other differences too. She also has torpedo tubes, Tirpitz torpedo tubes to be exact, on either side of the hull, and she has hydroacoustic surge, but no catapult fighter. So, kind of like the Odin, this is a ship that has just about every tool in the German toolkit except for the catapult fighter, all strapped onto one ship. Now, the guns have a base reload time of 33 seconds, but I do believe Rex has the main battery mod 3 module equipped instead of something like secondary battery mod 3, because instead of having a 33-second reload time, he has something along the lines of a 29-second reload time, which now puts Pommern's DPM of her main battery guns on par with the FDG. So she has a reload time. Oh, look, broadside of Vladivostok right there. He lines up all four turrets and fires, and yep, a 29-second reload time. So that's the base DPM of the FDG. Now he has that on 12 guns now. So he has smaller guns, but around the same DPM. Now, I build my Pommern full secondary build. That's just me. But Rex has not done that in that right there too. So he has a 59-second burn time on his fire. So I suspect he doesn't have the damage con modules equipped. I don't know what he took in their place. He didn't include his build with his email, but I do believe he has all secondary captain skills. He does have manual fire for secondaries. I believe he has BFT and AFT, but I just think he doesn't have the modules. And he may have taken, I don't know, maybe Amy Simpson's mod 2 or mod 1, whatever it's called, the one that improves your dispersion instead of the secondary module. I don't know. I'm just doing some guesstimation. So he gets 2 good solid hits there on, I believe that was Vladivostok as well. And now he's up to 12,000 damage so far. Anyway, Pommern is a very fun ship. I said that in my review of her, but she's not the most competitive ship in the world. And oh my god, look at that. Of course, it's in Iowa, sitting broadside on and barely moving. Oh, good lord, why do you do this? 12 kilometers away, Rex lets all 4 turrets fly on the Iowa, and behold, 51,000 damage in 1 hit. Oh my god. It's so stereotypical, so stereotypical of the Iowa. There's an Iowa player doing that. For those of you that don't know, the U.S. battleship line, especially on the North American server, is very much the first battleship line that a whole lot of people go up. So unfortunately, you see a lot of bad choices like that coming from the U.S. battleship line. Now, don't get me wrong, the U.S. battleship line is absolutely fine, but it's just that a lot of new players play it and they make some pretty silly mistakes like this. And he goes in reverse instead of gunning it forward and using the speed of the Iowa to get out of his bad situation. Thankfully, he is turning now, so he is angled more, so it's not another 50,000 hit. It is a 15,000 hit, however, to the Iowa. So, boy. Ooh, takes another hit there from, I think the Siegfried actually did that to him, but he's not looking too healthy. Meanwhile, the Nagato choosing to be very brave and moving up on the enemy team. Ooh, that poor Iowa. Now he's in the proper Iowa position, bowing to the target with just his front 2 turrets on target. That's ideally how you want to be playing Iowa in this situation. But unfortunately for him, because of that huge hit that Rex gave him a couple of minutes ago, he is now dead and is the first casualty of the match. Now this Nagato also makes a very interesting decision right here. If you notice, guys, he's not slowing down. He's kind of full gunning it toward the enemy team. And I thought he was originally moving up to this island for cover, but no, he's still going. Now, as far as the match is going, pretty early on so far, both teams have one cap now, although the A cap is contested and the one enemy Iowa is down. Oh, well, now there is the friendly Nagato's dead, and the enemy Nagato just came flying out from the side of that island. Yeah, not the best decision made there either, but in the situation that he's in, it looks like he's just trying to go to the A cap to help out there, although most of these friendly ships for us were detected, so not the best decision right there. So now he's also staying broadside on to the ships. He's starting to turn now, but unfortunately the Massachusetts, played by Shift, somebody who's been on the channel before, takes him out. Albemarle comes around the corner, throws his torpedoes, assuming they were directed at Shift. Ooh, takes a big hit there from, I think maybe the Surrey slapped him. And that's the thing with the Albemarle and the other British heavy cruisers. They have pretty good heals, but just like the British light cruisers, their armor isn't that great. The friendly Amagi's also push. Actually, I think it might have been the Amagi that slapped him. And there you go. Speaking of the Amagi takes him out. York shelling broadside on to most of the enemy team. Rex sneaks some shells up over the top of the island and gets 2 good hits there with 9 enough to finish him off. And now he's got a Kutuzov, Buffalo, and Vladivostok all on his right. Friendly Amagi again takes him out. So now it's looking pretty good for Rex's team. Enemy team is down 4 ships after that nice little push there. And they still haven't capped the C cap yet, but they do have the A cap, although it looks like the Siegfried is going to secure that for the friendly team. Now, Rex... Oh, goodbye, Surrey. Taking 3 friendly ships down to the enemy team's 4 ships now. So he's got a Vladivostok. Well, there goes the whole end too. Good God. Just like my team. Sometimes they just can't help but dying. So the Vladivostok is showing Rex broadside. The same Vladivostok from earlier. Rex pulls a Notzer and tactically beaches his Pommern. And let's see what these shells do right here. Okay, no citadels, but almost 10,000 damage and 2 pins. And he does have Adrenaline Rush, that much is evident, so his reload is just constantly getting quicker with all this damage he's taking. Although he really hasn't taken too much damage so far. He's only taken about, it's 20,000 damage now. He's only taking about 20,000 damage in the first 8 minutes of the game, which is pretty good for a German BB. Most German BBs get bullied by the carrier or some HE spammy cruiser for most of the match. And usually by this point, they're sometimes on half health if they've been bullied that hard throughout the match. But Rex has done a pretty good job of preserving his health. He still has 4 heals left too. So he's got a lot of health in reserve there too when he needs it. Shift in the Massachusetts has pushed up on the Kid in the smoke. Now, Kid is actually a Tier 9 destroyer that's been down to Tier 8. Ripped one of the torpedo tubes off and replaced it with AA. And yes, Rex just did hit the Kid in the smoke on a blind shot with the Pommern. With 1.5 Sigma. That's something I forgot to mention about the Pommern. The ship has 1.5 Sigma. You wouldn't know it from the way Rex is playing it, with the freaking quad citadel shot and then the Kid blind fire. All right, Kid comes out of the smoke and rushes Shift. Shift takes a big ol' hit out of him with his Massachusetts. Rex lets his front 2 turrets loose on the Kid. Gets him down to 615 health. His secondaries are also on the Kid. And unfortunately, the Kid did get torpedoes off, and unfortunately Shift is going to collide with them, and thus ends Shift's run. Oh, they did have a pretty good one. So now that leaves Rex. Oh, well, there also goes the friendly Cleveland too. Now it is 5 friendly ships up against 7 enemy ships. So now Rex's team has the ship disadvantage, but the cap advantage. And if you notice, the enemy team has kind of made a wall over by the C cap, and now they are pushing toward the rest of the friendly team at the B and A caps. So the tides have very quickly turned for the enemy team's favor, and they are now also ahead on points. Now that Richelieu looks pretty low. It looks like Rex is trying to sneak off a shot on him. Vladivostok's pushing this side. The Kutuzov is up in smoke doing Kutuzov things and HE spamming. Parzival, that is a CV, let me tell you guys about that CV. Parzival is a very, very, very good CV. It's one of the new German CVs. It's a Tier 8. She has very fast torpedoes that do not the best damage ever, but they're fast, so you can consistently get torpedo hits on target. And she also has AP dive bombers that do an insane amount of damage if they citadel, which they more than likely will on a ship like the Pommern just because of how huge it is. And her rocket planes are AP rockets, if you didn't get that memo, meaning they can actually get citadels on broadside cruisers. They have the pinning power of about 208mm guns, so yeah, they are quite potent. Rex takes a shot at the Kutuzov, who is sitting broadside away from him at 17 kilometers, but he turns last second to avoid most of Rex's shells, but he does get one hit on his bow for a pretty decent amount. Parsifal's come back with his AP dive bombers, and thankfully for the Siegfried, looks like he missed. Now the dive bombers on the Parsifal are quite slow, so it is pretty easy for something like a cruiser to dodge them, but for a battleship, not so much. Look at that shot right there on the Kutuzov from 15 kilometers away, and ooh, double citadel, and he knocks out the engine, but is just shy of getting the kill for the devastating strike on the Kutuzov. Thankfully, the Amagi, same Amagi as before, finishes him off for Rex. Now it is 4 friendly ships to 5 enemy ships. Siegfried's at half health, Amagi's at half health, and Rex is over here sitting at almost full health, and the friendly Shokaku in the back taking cover. Vladivostok sitting broadside from 10 kilometers away. There goes the Parzival's rocket planes. Torpedoes from, I believe, the Kutuzov. And let's see what happens here. This Vladivostok has a Siegfried, an Amagi, and a Pommern all creeping up on him. He's not in the best position here. Rex doing a very excellent job of using this island cover to his advantage. This is ideally a position you want to be in a German BB. Yes, their armor is very tanky and all, but when you have island cover and you can pick and choose your fights, that's the best situation you want to be in a German battleship. You do not want to be in open water in a German BB. That's how you get focus fired and just melted to death in as fast as a time as possible. Siegfried gets the torpedoes out on the Vladivostok and take him out. Unfortunately, the Parzival is coming up with more torpedo planes, which are probably going to finish the Siegfried off. Now, Rex has a New Orleans and an Iowa to deal with by himself. It's actually weird that the Iowa hasn't been shooting at him this entire time, or he might have missed him, because I sure didn't notice him getting shot at any. Rex gets bow into... Oh, actually, the Siegfried survived that first torpedo attack. Rex gets bow... Oh, he gets melted down by that New Orleans right there. Rex gets bow into the Iowa, is taking his shots. New Orleans broadside away from 8 kilometers. And again, just not enough to finish him off, although he does have his secondaries on him. That was just one citadel, by the way, and 5 overpins that wiped out that New Orleans health. So if he would have gotten a little bit luckier with RNG, that would be a dead New Orleans. So that New Orleans is essentially out of the fight. Parzival's coming in on Rex here, and now Rex has an almost full health Iowa to deal with. There's New Orleans. I believe he's going to switch his secondaries over to him, or not. I don't know what the Parzival's doing, taking his dear sweet time. Oh, he's lining up on the Amagi, I see. Amagi, once again, takes out the New Orleans. Rex launches his torpedoes here. A little bit too soon on the Iowa, but if he did continue in this, in the course he's in right now, he would actually eat them. Now, with German battleship and the torpedoes, you kind of want to wait till you're at that point-blank stage to use them, because that's when they're most effective. Iowa sees the torpedoes and starts to turn, although I do believe he was already pre-turning for this brawl with Rex. So Rex turns hard over to the right, and I believe right about here, he cranks his rudder hard over to the left, which is good. He's getting his turrets lined up, but then he's like, oh wait, I have torpedoes on the other side of my ship. This is when you use a German battleship torps, because watch this. 40,000 health, down to 1,200. And I do believe he forgot to switch back to his guns right there, because he just could have finished them off right there. Zooms in, realizes he's still in the torpedoes, goes back over to his main guns. Now, ideally, you don't want to keep turning like this, but doesn't matter, he finishes him off, but he did take a 7,000 hit there from the rear turret. When you brawl, you don't want to turn around like that. You want to keep going in a straight line like the Iowa did. That way you won't show your broadside to the enemy ship. But thankfully for Rex, it did turn out fine. He did eat a little bit of unnecessary damage, but thankfully it was nothing too egregious. So it comes out of that fight on top, so excellent job there. Now it is Rex and his Pommern and the friendly Shokaku against a Parzival and a Buffalo. Buffalo has great AA. Parzival can absolutely slap the crap out of Pommern. because Pommern's AA isn't that great in the first place, and he's eaten HE shells throughout this entire match, so his AA is more than likely somewhere around 60 or 70% effectiveness at best. Each 3 torps there for 9,000 damage. He's at 250,000 damage right now, so I believe he's crossed the EU record for damage on Pommern, but he hasn't crossed, no, I think he's crossed the Asian Russian record, so he hasn't crossed the EU record just yet. So Parzival, for some reason, is very close to the C cap. I could understand if he was going to like the A or B cap, but the path he took right here isn't the smartest. And now we have the Buffalo, who's also opening up on Rex right now, and Buffalo again could easily burn down Rex. And those AP rockets right there, if that Parzival had aimed a little bit higher and hit the upper belt armor, could have done a lot more damage, or if they would have hit his bow or stern, would have done a lot more damage. So Parzival's setting up more torpedoes to deal with Rex. I don't know why he hasn't used his dive bombers again. Maybe he's kind of out, but that would be very strange because Parzival, ooh, 15k hit on the Buffalo, does not finish him off, and he sends his last 2 turrets at him, gets a pin, a no damage pin, and the Buffalo lives, but the Shokaku finishes him off with torpedoes. Anyway, I was saying that it was strange that the Parzival isn't using his AP bombers because I hadn't seen him in a while. I would imagine they would have been regenerated by now. Rex does an excellent job. They've only taken one of those torps on the nose. Parzival, for some reason, is continuing on this course and is not turning up to the north now. So he's free game for Rex, and here comes the AP dive bombers. So now Rex can finish his Parzival off with ease. Those dive bombers, even if they all resettle, they won't have enough oomph to finish him off. Now, what's also interesting is that his secondaries right now, this is about the rate that my secondaries on my Pommern fire when my Pommer's at full health, because I have a full secondary build. So that just goes to show you how much all the modules and such can affect the rate of fire on your secondaries. So now he's free to chew on the Parzival for the rest of the match. Starts the fire on the Parzival, but that doesn't matter. The automatic got put up by the damage con, and it only lasted for 5 seconds anyway. And there we go. That is 1 dead Parzival, and now he has the world damage record for Pommern at 316,000 damage. That is pretty awesome. Good job, Rex. That was a close battle too. It wasn't a blowout. Now, I know it's a tier 9 battle, so people are going to dismiss it because it was only a tier 9 battle, or, you know, whatever. He still did an excellent job there. Very close match, very entertaining match. 316,168 damage done in that match. Wow. That's a very interesting build he had on his Pommern, too. I may have to try that out. And there's the leaderboard for the Pommern right there. As you can see, there's Rex on top. He's also played almost 100 battles in the Pommern, and his average damage is around 100,000. So I may have to try out that build there, Rex, because apparently you're doing something very, very right. So very nice job there, Rex, showing the real potential of the Pommern when in the right situation and played the correct way. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like and a comment on the video. Let Rex know what you think about his performance there on the Pommern. And if you did enjoy the video, make sure you also subscribe to the channel. We are on our way to 20,000 subscribers. We recently passed 15,000 subs, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. And hope you guys are having a wonderful Tuesday, and hope to catch you guys in the next one.